Hi, I'd like to share with you a new book I just purchased. It's called Different, Just Like You. It's written by Teska T. Frisby and illustrated by very talented 11-year-old Kyle Livingston. Teska Frisby is the daughter-in-law of one Janine LaRue, who I adore and love. And Janine LaRue is of the LaRue List Cafe, which you can find on Facebook or YouTube. This book is about young Sam Frisby. Now, young Sam Frisby is the son of Teska Frisby, the writer, and the grandson of Janine LaRue. And he's affectionately known as Pastor Sam or Preacher Samuel. And he has cerebral palsy. And this story reaches right into my heart and touches me deeply because it speaks to how, despite the challenge, he's really no different than you or I. And my own brother, as you might know, has severely profound developmental disabilities. And among the many disabilities that he's challenged by, one of them is cerebral palsy. So I can relate and I understand completely. He has cerebral palsy like Sam Frisby has cerebral palsy. So I want to read this book to you and encourage you to go and buy it yourself. I purchased my copy from Amazon. I'm sure you can get it at any major bookstore or online service. And I encourage you to buy your own copy. So I want to share this with you, though. I'm so excited about it, and I had to read it about 162 times to get the emotion out because I couldn't make it through the whole story without crying a bit. So I want to read this to you and share it. I'm very excited by it. It's got a beautiful message and it's a beautiful story. Different, just like you. Looking at the world through the eyes of someone with special needs will hopefully open our eyes to their world. All of us need someone. Although some of us rely on others more than most, we don't all love the same way, but we all desire love and to be loved by others. Now let's read the story. When I wake up each morning and open my eyes, wow, I am so excited to start each day. Mom usually wakes me with a kiss and says, "Good morning, Samuel. How are you this morning?" Then we make our way to the bathroom, just like you, to get washed up for the day. Mom holds my hand to guide me to the bathroom, and although this may seem different, I still need to get washed. It's different, but I'm just like you. Back to my room we go to pick out my clothes for the day. Decisions. Mom goes into my closet and shows me some tops and bottoms. After a few selections, I pick out what I want to wear. Yes, Mom must get my clothes from the closet for me, and that might be different from you getting your clothes out, but I still want to help decide what I want to wear. It's a little different, but I'm just like you. It's time to put on my clothes. I do this one leg at a time and one arm at a time. Although Mom must help me get my clothes on, I still need to get dressed, which may be different, but I'm just like you. Off to the kitchen we go for breakfast. Dad comes to help guide me as I walk down the stairs. You see, if I do not have someone to guide me, I might fall. Like you, I need to make my way to the kitchen table, but it may take me a little more time. Different, but I'm just like you. It's time to eat, yes! Meal times are some of my favorite parts of my day. After Dad helps me sit in my seat at the table, we hold hands, and Dad says grace. When prayer is over, Dad leans over to my plate and cuts my food. I sit and eat my food at the table with my family a little differently, but I still must eat, just like you. When it is time to go to school, Dad gets my coat from the closet and lays it on my bed. I say, I can do it, and Dad lets me put on my jacket by myself. It takes a little more time for me to get my jacket on and then zip it up, but eventually I get it done. A little slower and differently, but I still get it done, just like you do. When I am in class, I love to learn. Two of my favorite subjects are math and language arts. When my teacher asks a question, I don't shout out the answer. I raise my hand and wait until I'm called on. Not at all different. I'm just like you. Sometimes my family goes to the mall. My dad usually pushes me in my special stroller. My stroller helps me get from place to place more comfortably. We might go into a restaurant while at the mall. Sometimes people stop and stare at me. I'm never sure why they are staring. I am spending quality time with my family. That's not so different. It's just like them. On Sunday afternoons, we usually go to my Mimi's, my grandmother's house. Mimi makes some of the best shrimp, baked chicken, and asparagus. Yum, yum. She also gives some of the best hugs in the world. It's no different from your grandma or grandpa. I love my grandparents too, just like you do. If I get a cold or get sick, it's off to the doctor's office I go. My doctor examines me and checks my temperature. Sometimes I must take medicine to help me get better. Yuck. Just like you do. There are times when I get sad. If someone yells or is mean, it hurts my feelings. Sometimes I cry in silence, and sometimes I cry out loud. I have feelings, and I need to express them. I'm just like you. If I fall, I must call out for help. When my mom or dad comes to help me get up, they hug me and ask me if I am okay. I am thankful for my parents' love, just like you. When we are in the van together, my family tells jokes, and sometimes we can get silly, and I join in. When I speak, they must listen more closely, but I have something to say. My humor might be a little different, but I like to laugh, just like you. When it is time to go home, my brother Theo helps me get inside the van. He usually helps me walk to the stairs once we get to our house. Theo or my cousin David usually unlocks the door, and then one of them will guide me into the house by holding my hand. We always make it back safely. A little different, but I'm just like you. In the evening, it's quiet time. My brother or my cousin comes into my room and reads with me, and sometimes they might even read to me. I love it when they come in and spend time with me. It shows me that they care. I like reading books and spending time with family, just like you do. On my 16th birthday, I finally got to do what my great-uncle Thomas DaCosta and my great-grandma Susie Frisby did. Preach! My grandpa and grandma Hinman let me preach in their pulpit. I was so excited to have one of my dreams come true, like you would be excited to have one of your dreams come true. That may be different, but I'm just like you. Do you have big dreams? Ever since I was 4 years old, I wanted to be an ordained preacher. Well, guess what? On November 3rd, 2019, Bishop Earl E. Jenkins ordained me as a licensed preacher. I had waited all my life for that day, and it happened. My ministry may be different from others, but God can and does use me, just like He can use you. Just before I go to sleep, I say a prayer to thank God for my day. I thank Him for my parents, my family, and my friends. I especially thank Him for giving me life, and I ask Him to keep us all safe. I know God hears me because even though I am different, He loves me, just like He loves you. So, if you see me out and about, do not stare or point or even whisper and think that I don't care. I am human, and I am enjoying my life. God put me here with a purpose to fulfill. And just as it says in Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. God made me. And He made you too, just as we are. That makes us perfect. And I believe this is true. The moral of this story is, it does not matter how tall or how short you are. It does not matter if you are heavy or thin. It does not matter what your ethnicity is or even your religion. We all want love, and we all desire to give love. We all bleed the same red blood. We all have family and friends to whom we show our emotions. We all do the same thing, sometimes in a different language or a different manner, but the sentiment is the same. We all want our families to be safe, prosperous, and to feel loved and secure. So the next time you see someone who does not look like those in your home, do not treat them with disdain or disrespect. Although they might look, sound, and play differently, they are human beings, just like you. And reflections. While navigating this life, I have noticed that we all are making an impression on everyone we encounter, even when we are not trying to or paying attention to our surroundings. We are still influencing those in our midst. The world would be a little better, a little kinder, and a little lighter if we made a conscious decision to care about those who are a little different. They do not want to be seen any differently than anyone else. They might be different, but they are just like you. Be blessed, healthy, and excited. The end. And here's a picture of Preacher Samuel posing with his family. It says, although he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, it is not who he is. His life has been a testimony of the power of God. He continues to show us that our limitations do not limit God. God put his ministry in Samuel before he was born, and though he might minister differently than others do, he is still giving God the glory. Amen. And here's a picture of the very talented and amazing 11-year-old illustrator, Kyle Livingston, who did the illustrations for this book. So there you go. I encourage you all to purchase your own copy of Different Just Like You by Teska T. Frisby, and the story of Preacher Samuel Frisby. And it really speaks to my heart. I love this book so much. And I encourage you to go on Amazon or go to your local bookstore, wherever you get your favorite place to get books, and buy yourself a copy. Matter of fact, I encourage you to buy a couple of copies because I'd love for you to spread it around. I think we need to get this message out to as many people as possible because heaven knows we all need the truths that are in this book. I love you all. Be well.